far to be here. Interested in being a part of Transcending Pictures' newest production, Where the High Ends. What I can tell you now is this is where it all began. You know, a little more than 10 years ago when I started this filmmaking journey, I went to a networking mixer, okay? At that mixer, I was just an ambitious person with a dream and a script, and I happened to run into a gentleman that's in the audience over there named Simon Fridlick. Woo! Round of applause. Simon believed in us for the very first time and was willing to work for free and put in long hours at our ambitious 20-year-old selves at the time. So without people like that, this probably would never have been possible. So we've come a long way over the years, and it's amazing that these networking opportunities could truly transform into something even bigger. Who would have known? So without me going on too long here and excited about this, I really wanted to tell you guys a little bit about what's to come. We are very excited. Anthony beside me, my co-partner for the Catskill International Film Festival, we have a lot of big things in store for this year to come, okay? We are looking to go into an even bigger event. You know, we were a little ambitious with the 8-day event, but our thing isn't about quantity, it's about quality. To do a shorter event, 3 days, a nice weekend, that is full of celebration. Celebrating filmmakers, celebrating art, and you want to say a few words?
Hey everyone, so I'm Anthony, as he mentioned. So this will be our sixth Catskill International Film Festival, and many of you have been there before, and each year it gets bigger and better. We learn, we keep improving, we meet more people, and we grow, you know, thanks to you all, and we really can't wait to do it again, and we've got a lot in store, we have a lot planned. We're going to do probably another film competition. We did 24-hour one, I believe. Was it 24 hours?
72 hours.
It was 72 hours. Yeah, we did a 72-hour film competition. There you go. We have a few contestants here, and that went amazingly well. We've gotten thousands of submissions in these festivals, and we put on a heck of a show every time. And we can't wait to see you all there. And to those who haven't been, definitely check it out, and we'd love to have you. And if you haven't submitted, submit, and we'll see what happens. Thank you all.
I thought it was very important to do an event like this very close to the casting of our new film, Where the High Ends. Where the High Ends is a personal project of mine. Though I have never dabbled into drugs, drug addiction has greatly impacted my life. And I felt like doing a film that shows all sides of addiction, including the consequence, was extremely important to me. So Where the High Ends is going to need actors that want to be there, that want to give their all, that people are raising their hands. Yeah!
I want to be there.
So it's going to need people that want to give their all. And this was the very first step. We didn't want to do a casting where it was so informal. We wanted to meet people for the first time at a celebration. And tonight is a celebration of art and filmmaking, whether you like the film or not. I can tell you right now, some of you here, it might not be for everyone. And that's what filmmaking is all about. You're never going to impress everyone. You might be the greatest actor to some and might be terrible to someone else. So tonight is a celebration of all that. And Where the High Ends, I can't wait till we begin this process in the near future. But as we step into the future, let's take a look into the past.
Yeah!
Yeah!
And cast members 10 years later, after the Savior. My name is Sunny Adelman.
Yay!
And I'm an actor myself. I'm also a casting associate with Hudson Valley Casting and the president of Upstate Women in Film and Television. I've also worked with Charles for many years, starting with our first festival, Hudson Valley Film Festival in Monroe.
Hudson Valley.
So we're just gonna get started and just pass the mic down and just have you guys introduce yourselves and also talk about what were your role or roles in the film.
Hey, so thank you all for being here and watching and enjoying the film. So I'm Anthony Gagliano, my real name, and my character was Tommy. I was one of Arthur's henchmen. And I had a family, I think I had 6 kids, so I was a busy boy. Yeah, it was a fun time, and I had a little more hair back then. 10 years, goes by. But it was a great time. I really enjoyed it. And I don't want to say too much now. I'll wait for the other questions.
You gotta remember you had 8 bedrooms and 4 baths. Okay. I'm Charles Marnaro, writer, director, producer, and I played Arthur.
Hey everyone, thanks for coming out. I'm Greg Janute. I played Clyde. And yeah, I was just so likable, wasn't I?
My name's Andrew Matthews. I played Bill, and I think I was the savior.
I would say.
There you go.
So I'm gonna ask a few questions, but feel free to jump in if you guys have any questions as we're talking. We'll take questions from the audience as well. My first question is, this is 10 years after the filming. So what was one of your fondest memories of working on that project?
I really enjoyed killing it. One of my favorite moments. To relive that was just wonderful.
Yeah, just working with all the different actors, and yeah, I had a great time. I had a great time filming with Anthony, with Andrew. I had a great time working with Charles. I had a great time. I really enjoyed my time with the film.
I had a wonderful time. I feel like, when you're in the moment making a film, it's never the same. No matter what movie production you work on, it's its own experience because you work with unique people each time. The world is a different place. Like 10 years ago, it was such a different place, how we would make a movie. Now, it was like pre-COVID, everything that went into those crazy years. So that time period, I just had the time of my life. Met some really cool friends, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do a 10-year event, is to bring some people back together.
Awesome responses so far. Thank you all. And I have to agree with all of that. 10 years ago, it was great seeing everybody again. But for the answer, my most fond memory, throughout the whole thing, I loved it. But if I have to pick one, it was probably, I think the scenes in the warehouse or the hideout. I think it was the storage unit, and there's a few things. But it was cold, and there was a lot of long days. But I would say that was when, at least for my scenes, and I can recall, when we had the biggest cast around. So it was great just being around people for 16 hours, 14 hours, 12 hours, just long days. But we all got along. It was a great time, and we just had a blast making it. Being there around so many people was just a lot of fun.
I just want to say one thing. Talking about, you said long days. So the final day of shoot, we filmed in the Villa Roma, which is a big resort up here, and it was 24 hours.
Yep.
Okay, so, all right, 26 hours. So it was a long day. I thought Simon was going to kill me, my cinematographer, and he probably should have, but I think it went well. You had a lot of lines that day too.
So Charles, this was like 10 years ago, fairly in the beginning of your filmmaking career. When you made this, do you know how many films you made since Savior?
Yes. Well, I've made a bunch of short films, which I don't even count, but I think from Savior I've made, I want to say 5 feature films. And I wish I could make 10 years, 5 feature films, but when you're doing anything on an independent budget, this movie is years ago. Thousands and thousands of dollars went into making this movie.
And, you know, most of us here, well, I can speak for everyone on the stage, we all work 9 to 5s. This is something that we're truly passionate about. We do this on the side. However, a lot of money went into Savior, and a lot of money goes into any independent film. So, yeah, 5 films. But if I was to go back, like, one of the worst things as a filmmaker to do is have a project like this, or like any project, and you're reopening the editing process. Like, you could just keep, like, any person that's a creative, you'll just keep on wanting to edit the project over and over.
Yeah,
and over.
not only that, but like, I feel like after so many years, you've probably learned a lot.
Oh,
More
yeah.
than what you know, like what you knew when you were doing Savior.
Yeah, this film I want to say was our first professional film, you know, where it had audio and everything like that. But even still now, when you look back, there's, oh, I would have changed this, I would have done this differently. You know, you grow a lot over a decade, and I think, like, you know, the newer films, you can see the improvements and, you know, a lot of decisions that are made that I wouldn't do now. But when I was thinking about this version of the film, and a lot of people in the audience were like, oh, this is pretty long, you know, 2.5 hour movie here. They embellished. This is a director's cut. So I added stuff that was originally tore off, like, we get it, pacing issues. But for an actor perspective, some of these actors probably haven't seen some of these scenes ever before today. So I wanted to make sure that they got the chance to see them and experience the hard work they put into them.
And what was your inspiration to make this film? Because it goes into some very dark territories.
I think when we started writing this, most people that know me know I'm a massive Breaking Bad fan. And the one thing I liked about Breaking Bad was that Walter White's journey, how he transformed. And all the villains he faced in the series, or people, he kind of took a little piece with them. So we kind of have those icons that Greg takes throughout the film, where he keeps on taking jewelry from the people he kills, or that have some sort of moral purpose for him, like the ring, the watch, the necklace. So it was the ending of Breaking Bad. I was like, man, I wish I could do something like that. And I like gangster films, you know, Scarface and stuff like that.
So, Greg, I have a question for you. Speaking of your character, it was a pretty big arc, right?
Yes. Yes.
So, in the film, where do you think your character peaked in your arc?
I would say when I start throwing paychecks at my my servant guy, that's when it starts.
Yeah. And was it difficult for you, as you know, an actor, to go into those really dark places?
Definitely, because you don't really want to be seen that way, and in general, you know, if you play the part too well, people actually believe that's how you are in real life. So, but I didn't care. I just went with it, and I think the finished product is good.
Yeah, sure. And where do you think your character would have gone if you survived?
Probably, I think I just would have kept murdering people. So actually, it was good that you killed me. I just, yeah, he did a service to me, and I think it just would have gotten to the point where I just would have, my soul just like kind of turned to stone at that point, and it just, I didn't really, or no, I think I would have gone after, I would have gone after Stella, yes, and that probably would have ended well, because she didn't really want to be with me, so.
Well, you did kill her husband, so.
Right, yes, so right, so yeah, I don't think she, yeah, I would have ended up in jail, definitely.
So, I'm going to read some questions. There were some questions that were emailed to charlesmarno.com, and I'm just going to touch base on these in case one of you in the audience actually sent one of these questions. So, Charles, actually anyone, what are some memorable challenges or surprises that you encountered during the production?
So going back back to those hideout and warehouse scenes. You could see in the behind the scenes moment, there was some background noise and stuff like that. But one of them was snoring, but the one that happened a lot, I recall, was traffic and the train. We were right next to train tracks, and every time we got like in a good groove, scene was going well, acting was going great, everything was perfect, the train would go by and you can't hear anything. It's like, oh man. And it kept happening, and I'm cold, it's like, damn. But it was a good time.
What was the question again?
Some challenges or surprises that you encountered during the production. Well, Andrew has one if you don't have one yet.
Yeah, I have one. One of the big challenges, and it's really important because there's some people that came out tonight that are interested in being an actor possibly in the next film. Maybe you change your mind after watching this. You're like, what is this shit? But one of the big challenges is we had to do a lot of last minute recasting. We had like people quit the day of, or we were already filming with, so like there's scenes that, you know, people just poof. Maybe they died off camera, but they you know, that's the thing when you're doing independent films. Sometimes life happens, people, you know, we had really bad weather, so people didn't show up, so we did, you know, rewrites last minute. You know, in the production end, there was a lot of things. The ending of the film, I remember Greg and I had a conversation because he was like, yeah, but it's so poetic that I die in this scene, and now there's an extra scene that we're filming where you come back. And I remember he was like, don't do it. And I was like, yeah, but like a post-credit scene, you know, like they do in Marvel. I don't know if they did that back then, but, you know, so that's kind of like, I don't know, my intentions, I guess, in the time were to potentially, we actually wrote like a second part of Savior.
Yeah, well, that's a big, I mean, anyone who, I'm sure you, because you've done so many, anyone who's done a film knows that while you start filming the film, you also are rewriting the script over and over again.
Yeah, like we, at the time, I mean, I'm just, I guess I'm answering, putting my own question out there, but we had another script for like a part 2 of Savior. But then there was so much, we had such a good time with the people we had. The problem is we killed everybody. So like, we were gonna be focusing like on a whole new group of people with Stella and, you know, Bill's character, and everyone else was gone. So it was just a whole new, and then at the time, I remember Simon was like, you know, your films are getting increasingly crazier, so like making me rethink. So I did a romantic comedy for my 3rd film. Bad decision.
So we were outside the Middletown Police Department, we were filming Greg coming out. I don't think he had anybody's permission. So the Middletown Police came over to the car, knocked on the window. I was like, what the hell do you guys want? Don't you know who I am? And I got arrested, and Charles had to bail me out, so thanks, Charles.
Story.
True story.
Anyone have any questions in the audience before we?
How many pieces of bread did you go through in that one scene?
Listen, guys, I'm not gonna say I look a little better than I did in that film, but come on, look at this. I mean, that was method acting, okay? I ate a lot of bread in that film, a lot of pasta to get in shape for the role, you know? Yeah, I ate a lot.
Question from
So I wanted to ask about Arthur's character using acting. You know, the art is so severe, and I absolutely love developing Arthur's character throughout it. It was the director and screenwriter. Were you pulling from personal experience when things got dark for you, or was that something that you had to kind of create and build yourself so that it could be believable on screen?
You mean Clyde, right? Clyde's character.
Sorry, yes, Bob.
Yeah, definitely. When you do heavily emotional scenes like that, you have to pull from. Yeah, so I had to go to some dark places, and it can be emotionally exhausting. But you know, I wanted to stay true to the character. So yeah. After you know he said cut, it was like, oh man, shoot. And then we do it again, and then you'd have to do, you know, the emotionally charged scene again. So, you know, you have to, when the scene's over, you just have to like let it go. You know, some people, they say cut and they're like, oh. So I really just, to save my energy, I made sure to just, when he said cut, just, okay, all right, done.
Nothing major. This is a bit where we want to go across the street from here.
Thank you.
Question in the back?
In regards to the music in the film, I was just wondering how you decide to fit specific tunes or sequences of music to the film, and also is using actual composers in film scores over.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
Is it everything going to be computer generated? Now, that isn't necessarily about AI, but I'm a composer, so I'm curious, is that going to be a thing anymore, or is it just more economical to just get music out?
To answer your question, I would absolutely love to have like an official composer for any of my films, but you know, it comes with a hefty price tag a lot of times.
Sure.
So it is an economical decision when you're making a film. Like, it really does stink when you're doing it, because now we have like AI. Like, this movie's before AI, I guess. So like now you kind of like have AI generate like a really gangster soundtrack. I don't even know, but yeah, it is an economical decision. In my first film, The Factory, I actually had a really close friend who composed most of the music in that movie, but it was very time consuming for him. So there was a lot of, you know, unique tracks in that film, and I would love to dive deeper into that in the future, because music is I think a really pivotal and important part of the filmmaking process. So it actually would be easier to have a composer, because sometimes I don't have the best ideas for choosing music myself. So like the editor, I'll sit down with the editor and she'll go through so many different songs. I'm like, yeah, I don't like that. I don't like the original version of Savior. I didn't like most of the music. Like, this is probably the 4th version. This one, of course, is like the bloated extended version with all the stuff, bells and whistles. But the original version had very limited music throughout. It was a little quieter. You know, there's a lot of scenes that didn't have any music, which when I spoke to a lot of people that viewed the film, they actually, some people preferred it because it had more emotional depth, to have, you know, personal scenes, like the scene between Clyde and Stella when he's about to leave. That scene was originally like a very quiet scene. There wasn't music behind it. It was just their emotions together, and it worked. But I like a little bit of music to.
Yeah, and it's definitely an art. And your genre of films too, I mean, think about it, like Pulp Fiction, Natural Born Killers, they had like really awesome soundtracks.
Yeah.
And that's something you also remember with those films.
Yeah.
Are you a film composer?
I would like to be.
That's really cool. That's an excellent job.
Let me get your ID afterwards.
Yeah. Okay, so, question?
Yeah, what inspired you to have black and white?
Well, the original. This is the very first time we shot. Like,
The original not
it was a lot here. The opening credit scene where people were like, it looked like almost animation. When we were thinking about the 10-year anniversary, I knew I always wanted to do like a 10-year anniversary. You know, meet with the cast. It was going to be like a private thing. Then I looked at it as like, the opening was always in black and white. What if I did the entire film in black and white? Because some of the scenes I could say work way better in black and white. Like anything that's like graphic, you know, bloody, I think looks better black and white. But there's certain really beautiful scenes, because we filmed this in like the height of fall. So like the really romanticized scene by the lake when they're walking together, there was all fall foliage. And it was like beautiful orange, red, yellows. So that scene, like, it's heartbreaking to see that in black and white. But overall, I think it matches the tone of like this old school gangster. You know, that's what I felt like. I felt like a Tommy gun, like the scene where they did it. Like, I felt like it would look cool in black and white. So that was, the opening credits kind of sold me to do that.
Yes.
Just wanted to comment, I actually enjoyed the black and white, and I enjoyed the red.
That, I'm gonna be honest with you, that we didn't intend that.
Well, it came out great, because
Somebody came up to me mid-performance and said people's heads were cut off, and I was like, what? because I was back there and I saw it perfectly, but I guess the projector was tilted a little higher than it should have been.
Okay.
That was unintentional. It's all, but thank you.
I thought it was interesting, and it turns to black and white. This is my first time ever seeing this, and I'm just mesmerized, first of all, by the characters and how what a monster this character became. That I was relieved when he was killed at the end. But but I just thought it was so interesting on so many different levels. Like, why did she decide to stay in that house, you know, and raise her son in this place? I wondered why Clyde, you know, he was so troubled that we missed his whole childhood. So I keep thinking about what happened to him. You know, what happened that made him do that? And I kept hoping for Clyde to make the right choice because he had choices. But he always made the wrong choice. I mean, at least that I would make that choice. So I'm really, I think it's amazing. I'm so thinking about so many different things about it. But that choice for black and white, minus the red, to me, it showed his soul almost. It was a dark soul. And it reflected that so much. It gave more. I feel like if I would have seen more happy, sunny, whatever pieces, yes, there's beauty in life, but this wasn't his that soul.
Yeah.
So that to me was a really good choice. And I loved it. And thank you. This is my dad, so he gets killed.
I'm sorry.
His wife gets killed and he runs away.
I'm sorry.
He was there. But thank you so much. I really enjoyed it.
You know, we gotta stop killing him, because I think he got killed in the factory too. Jose, you gotta,
I ran away.
He ran away.
He ran
killed
away.
the wife. Yes.
Okay, so you didn't die then. Good. Yeah, go ahead, Teresa. Wait a minute, first of all, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Teresa, Tracy.
Happy birthday, dear Teresa.
Happy birthday to you.
Woo!
All right, don't cry now. All right, get to the question.
Was actually a statement. It has to do with Greg. Greg, I hear you. I mean, I don't know you, even though I've known you over 10 years, but
I'm not like that, I promise.
you're a sweet person. In real life, where the hell did you pull that character out of your soul? Because it can't really be there. You were too nice of a person.
Well, thank you. Oh, it was watching a lot of gangster movies and just I just saw a lot of in school. I just saw a lot of cruelty from other kids, and it really affected me. And I built up a lot of anger from that, and I think that's where that's where I pull a lot of that from, I would say. Yeah.
But can I say a little bit something else?
Sure.
I think the characters that all of you, just it shocks me because he's so good and nice. You're all nice, but
I was gonna say,
Except for Andrew.
you're all nice.
great.
But
Everything else is very nice.
those characters were amazing. That's all. Almost every one of the characters, except for my little part in the bank, that was terrible. But all of you, all of you did such an awesome job.
Thank you.
How's on my part? Oh, your part, you didn't even know how to use the gun.
So we're gonna take a couple more questions because the guy across the street's probably gonna kill me. I'm just gonna throw it out there, if anyone wants to continue the conversation in person, I know a lot of you are busy and stuff, but we have the restaurant supposedly staying open until about 10:30 for us to get there. Right.
It's after
Teresa, can you do me a favor? Can you run over there?
It's
Closed.
Well, yeah, just because I know you.
I would assume
know,
that it'd be
talk to me anytime you want. Some people,
Or go the main road and back
you just
down.
walk across the street.
It's across the street.
Yeah, yeah, it's right across the gas station. But like, we need to start walking in there and say, hey, people are coming. Because they're gonna close, and guess what, guys? Once they close, McDonald's. We'll meet McDonald's. We're in Sullivan County here.
Mostly everybody coming, so
All
I
right.
could say 100 or.
Yeah. All right, Teresa.
100.
All right. Teresa, go in there and be like, yeah, they're rolling cash, caviar,
Yeah.
just so they stay open, okay?
The man in the back with the hat.
Gentleman in the back?
Two quick questions. First off, I wanted to direct a question to Anthony. Anthony, what happened? You could have been a mob boss, man. You were perfect. I loved it.
Thank you very much, I appreciate it.
My second was actually about all the actors, including the lovely ensemble of ladies.
that's where Woodstock.
How in God's name did you retain people? As a filmmaker myself and a video
I'll see you guys later.
and
But you've
a
been
bunch
there.
of other stuff.
Okay.
I find that keeping actors is the hardest thing to do.
Relationships, like what you're seeing right here now, like Anthony's like we're all like brothers to me, but like Anthony and I, like we went on to run a festival together. Like we have a close relationship, you know. He moved ways back, we're gonna be in touch more. But like Andrew and I, like we actually did a book event recently. We're both authors. We did a book event at a castle this fall. I like to build relationships with people. And to me, if there's been times when I've been filming, it always hasn't been rainbows and sunshine, where it was a miserable process, and you feel it. Where you don't, like, if I'm not having fun and I'm spending money, which has happened, I don't even want to be there. But now I'm in too deep and I have to finish this. Because I'm one of those people that there's a lot of people out there that create films and they pull the plug as the director or writer. So people are, you know, spending a month of their time, they took off of work, they made sacrifices to be on your set, and then the director goes, disappears. So in that circumstance, you know, the actors, I don't want to say actors are replaceable, they're not. Like if midway through the production, Greg left, chances are I was really bad at casting and reading his personality, or I did something terrible to offend him or disrespect him on set. So I feel like we had a good communication throughout. So that's what I think it is. Like, I don't rule with an iron fist on set, but if you come to set knowing your lines, professional, no BS, no ego. This guy has no ego. I mean, he just wants blue Skittles and M&Ms. That's it. You know, but beyond that, like, that's what it really is just building relationships to keep people. Because it sometimes doesn't work. I mean, I'm gonna name a little story. Stuart probably remembers this one, but we filmed at the Villa Roman. We filmed there for a while. They were closed. And we had an actress come from LA. And she's in the movie. I put her in this version, but she wasn't in the original because she quit. But because she said it looked low budget, and we were in a resort. We had the whole resort and I'm thinking to myself, like, me as a second year filmmaker, or third year filmmaker at the time, I'm like, we're in a resort. People pay like a lot of money a night to stay here. Like, we're in like afterwards we were partying, we were in jacuzzis, we were swimming in the pool that he was doing coke in. You know, like, we were just having the time of our life, and she came in there and she started drama, and that type of stuff, you know, she quit. And you know, we've had that where, you know, it's not up to people's part. That's why I kind of like this, you know, for some of the actors that came here from elsewhere, and they're looking to be in part of the next film or whatever, we've improved a lot over the years. And, you know, not as far as the acting I think has always been on par, but as far as like a creative, we have. But have certain expectations, you know. It's an independent film. And if you have your mind made like you're gonna be working with like Halle Berry or, you know.
Get your own trailer, forget about
Yeah, like, just to understand, like, we're friends that work professionally together to try to get something done.
As an indie film, it's a big group too. Like, that's what's impressive.
This film, like I said, we filmed over 10 weeks, I believe, right? 10 weeks, and it was like, we kind of shoehorned Christmas in it. It isn't a Christmas movie. This isn't like Die Hard, okay? So this isn't a Christmas movie, but we just happened to be there. I liked the aesthetic of Christmas. I mean, we weren't gonna take down the decorations in the resort, but we're like, how crazy would it be if there's like that ending finale, like right around Christmas time?
Or the Christmas tree.
Yeah.
I actually had a question for Greg.
Shoot.
Yeah, that innocent, good-looking, charming police officer they dragged into the pool every single
I don't really like getting arrested in a pool. I was really having a good time, and you kind of ruined it for me. So, no, I don't feel bad.
Charles, how's it feel to know that Jenna went off to be a supermodel?
It's pretty cool. People don't know this, but Janelle Spitana, the one that, you know, your baby, well, not your baby mama, she cheated on you, whatever. She went on to be a Maximum cover girl.
Yes.
So, you know, Janelle Tana now, but she became a Maximum cover girl. It's amazing. And she was actually supposed to be here tonight, but she was trying so hard to get a ride from New York City. And like, you know, she was like, it's literally gonna cost me $100 an Uber. And like a lot of the people that were also living in the city couldn't make it for a scheduling conflict, so it sucks because like, I tried not to be like forceful, but I'm like, hey guys, you know, 10-year anniversary, I don't know if I'm gonna be doing this every 10 years. You know, it costs money to rent out theaters and get people together. I mean, everyone's busy, but I wanna say this is it for this movie, but like, this is it. So, yeah.